We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
With Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Good morning, everybody. Feeling a little more rested today. And, because I finally had a little time to myself, not much, I got to admit, still a ton to do. Really, this next month, a ton to do. Happy Halloween, everybody. Certainly, I know a lot of the Christians don't like the holiday. And, this is just because it's reality rants. This is like an off-the-cuff kind of rant. Just quickly on that. First of all, when I say I had a little time, I finally got to watch the new South Park thing. And for me, they're still at the zeitgeist of political satire and somewhere in a basis of reality. I believe me. They've attacked 9/11 Truth and myself in particular. If you go to season 10, if you've got the DVD commentary, you can hear them talk about the episode with the Hardley Boys and how it was in association with the Popular Mechanics Democracy Now! Debate with myself, Dylan Avery, David Dunbar, and James Meggs. So look, I don't agree with them on everything. Plus, they're funny. They're funny, okay? But because it's Halloween, and by the way, although South Park's done some fun Halloween stuff over the years, the Simpsons Halloween thing is usually my tradition. They haven't even aired it yet. I think they air it at the end of this week because of baseball playoffs. So we didn't get a Treehouse of Horror. Last year we got a Treehouse of Horror and kind of like this other fun Halloween episode. I used to watch every single Simpsons because that was at the peak of satire and generally made me laugh. And I like to laugh. I like to feel good. I haven't watched The Simpsons in probably 5-6 years. Like it's been a while. In the high 20s is where seasons, that is. I stopped watching the way I do. Unfortunately, some other shows like that. I used to be really, really into like animation domination. I thought that American Dad was well done. Used to watch The Family Guy a lot. Those all kind of fell off. I'm not exactly sure why. I do need a little more laughter in my life, but South Park never has. South Park to me, it stood the test of time. For a guy like myself who's not into musicals, like I feel like small children and mostly women and sometimes people of a certain sexual persuasion, they're more into musicals. I mean, maybe that's bigoted of me to say that, but I think on average the demographics there. But when done well, I can totally get behind it. Like a kid's movie like Annie, right? That stands the test of time. For what is it, Gone with the Wind is, that stands the test of time. South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut, is the greatest musical of all time. Prove me wrong. Can anybody out there really from my generation tell me about a more well-done musical that has stood the test of time. It actually got, I think, at the Academy Awards, actually got nominated, obviously, for the original songs. And I believe they even had Robin Williams at the time perform Blame Canada on the show. I digress. I'm going to get into the show in a minute. But it's Halloween. I want to circle back to that. It's Halloween. I get the occultic connotations for what Halloween should be. For me, is a fun time to go out, play dress up once a year, and have a good time as a child or an adult or a mix. So for the kids, it's time. I think it's a good opportunity, actually, and a good conversation piece to see what the kid is really into at the time. Right now, when they're smaller, obviously you're going to know, right? They're going to be watching whatever on the TV, and it's going to be this show, this toy, that toy. But as they get a little bit older, right on the peak of never doing it again in that 10, 11, 12 is probably your last year. It's a good opportunity. That. And the candy thing once a year, look, the sugar, I got to go out and get candy. Actually, probably for both look. I didn't even think about it. I'm probably not even going to be here. That's true. I'll probably be at the new place. It looks like this place is a no candy spot this year. Sorry, kids. Usually we're a candy spot. We're not going to be here. But I'm on the extreme of that. Like I often talk about how I'm kind of agnostic and, I don't tell people what to believe religiously, right? A lot of that has to do with my upbringing and the fact that it was so ultra Christian that as a kid, I wasn't allowed to go to school on Halloween. That's a little weird, right? And that's always stuck with me. I only got to go trick-or-treating a few times because of my dad. And I think one time I got to do the Joker thing and made my brother a werewolf, and my little sister was a princess. I specifically remember that year because there weren't many years as a kid that I was able to celebrate Halloween on any capacity. Now, maybe that gives me more of a fondness for it today. Although I will say in the last several years, especially after COVID, I don't think I've dressed up once. But I'm a 40-plus-year-old man, right? But there's plenty going on in my area over the past week. Halloween weekend was a very real thing. All the bars were throwing parties. I remember last year, I think I went out and had a couple drinks on one of the nights. I remember, some fun costumes. That's always fun. Like I saw the ice climbers from the video game, little Eskimo, the clever. I like clever. I like clever and cool. But in that regard, I think it's awesome. Right? I think it's a really, really fun time. Unfortunately, we're living in Halloween every day when people want to play dress up like kids every day. Right? So I'm saying in my little opener rant there that I really didn't plan on talking about because it is Halloween, is it is what you make it. And I'm always all about telling the historical connotations of any holiday, right? Like if we're going to talk about Halloween, how about Christmas coming up and the fact that it's really based in paganism? It is. It's where the Christmas tree comes from and the ornaments. That's why I make the joke Jesus Christmas sometimes, when I say it. Because it's like this amalgamation of religion. It just shows the, I guess the way that history can be molded and modded via institutions through societies, right? If you look up the historical connotation of when Jesus was probably born, it has nothing to do with December 25th, but it has everything to do with the winter solstice and paganism. Santa Claus's origins, the Krampus, the whole nine. All that stuff is not based in some kind of Christian lore. Just gonna put that out there. To South Park, And don't worry, we're going to get to Matthew Perry as well. Matthew Perry, I may just kind of hit on really quickly and then bring it back to the top of the hour in the uncensored hour, because I really want to play the trailer for the Friends reunion show also today, because look, I don't often comment on celebrity deaths, right? We weren't talking about Suzanne Summers when she dies. Every once in a while I'll say something if I really like someone's work. But the Perry situation is such a reflection of what society is right now and how terrible Hollywood really is. Like when you take away the fantasy, in the respect that they drug this guy out on a TV show where he's clearly like shot. Now everybody's coming out with I'm sorry, oh, he was such a great. Look, I'm not saying that you can stop somebody ultimately from doing what they're going to do, but the exploitation factor and the fact that nobody really succeeded in stopping this guy, and it also just shows how unfulfilling fame, money, everything can be. I mean, Matt Perry had plenty of cash, obviously. The syndication of Friends alone, buku bucks. Buku uku. Money don't buy happiness, but that's on the flip side of that doesn't mean you should have none. Money, if done right, buys you ultimately what? Peace of mind and security in situation. Navigational tools throughout this weird and wacky post-truth world we're living in. Still haven't even started on the Panderverse. I'm pandering to the audience here in the first segment of this Halloween broadcast. Guess it's a talk show. South Park. Loved it. Like, not that I haven't really enjoyed the stuff that they've done, even if it's in truncated little small packages lately, but top to bottom, start to finish, I probably had 4 or 5 like big laugh out loud moments. I'm by myself, nobody else is around, and boom. And to me, that's kind of the litmus test of how good something is, right? Because don't get me wrong, we're human beings, we're creatures. When you're in a theater or you're at a comedy show and you're going in there with that expectation and everybody's laughing around, there's an atmosphere, right? There's a lot of laughter, that can happen. When you're alone and you burst out into laughter, say, no, I love it. I like to laugh. Isn't that right? Yeah, I like to laugh. So, this thing is a commentary on how everything is being turned into a diverse woman, right? The PC principle, the political correctness, the term woke, all that is in here, and there's political commentary on that. Now, AI is also the other big political commentary. And kind of getting into the fact that all these people that thought blue-collar workers were going to be replaced first don't realize, no, it's not the blue-collar workers. And by the way, the Screen Actors Guild is still striking. They worked something out with the writers. But that writers are cheap compared to talent, everybody. Writers are cheap compared to talent. So the Screen Actors Guild still have a lot of problem with AI. So it's also a commentary on AI and what's currently happening and how nobody can do anything anymore. Nobody knows how to fix anything. And I don't want to ruin too many of the gags. Obviously, this isn't going to be spoiler free. But one of the running gags and kind of like gateways through the show is the fact that there is a hinge busted on an oven door and it needs to be replaced. And this handyman is now getting so much work. Usually you kick the handyman a little extra, kick the old handyman a little extra, and he'll do something. But that's not what this is. And my thing is, the joke is, you call Siri on the thing, and then the handyman comes and fixes it. I would say this, like at any point, you could also just pull up a YouTube video how to fix anything. It's how I got my mower going after it wasn't starting. Had it for a couple years sitting there. Had the gas in there. How I got that going. So to me, that's a gag. But a lot of people are helpless, right? And it shows how a lot of the pseudo-intellectual class who went to college and thought that they were irreplaceable are kind of replaceable right now. And are going to be. Now, the other thing, though, is, even though you have the AI, you need a grasp of like, the situation. Like, they were showing a lot of different jobs, right? Like, the graphic designer was going down, the lawyer, the therapist. Everything was like e-therapy now, right? And let's just say it morphs into even a billionaire parody on Musk and Zuckerberg in there. You want to fight MMA? Now, Musk and Zuckerberg aren't in it, but they kind of make that illusion. Now, the other thing that we're going to expand upon, and really what I'm going to focus on, is the multiverse. And that's how the Panderverse comes in. That, most of the story is going to be spoiler free, but how they handle the whole multiverse is something we need to talk about, because in reality, the multiverse is a fictional Hollyweird creation based in pseudoscientific theories for an agenda. And that's why it's being pushed everywhere. So buckle the truck up. It is the Tuesday morning Reality Ranch Show with Jason Bermas, brought to you by RedVoiceMedia.com. RVMRumble.com is where the second hour lives, and we'll be back after this word from our sponsor.
We interrupt today's programming to bring unfortunate news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. So take action now. The Federal Reserve's phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard and put your hard-earned assets in jeopardy. But here's the good news. There's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Speak to someone at American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Dial 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now. 833-287-2465. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Call 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now. 833-287-2465. Act swiftly. 833-287-2465.
Thumbs it up, thumbs it up, thumbs it up, subscribe and share. Remember, we're losing subscribers every day on the mainstream platforms over at YouTube. There's literally no motion whatsoever on my Twitter. Like, I put something up yesterday that really should have gone super mega viral, like on an unshadow banned account. There is no doubt to me what I posted yesterday, and I'll show it to you guys quickly. And I want to thank my boy. It's one of my bigger tweets, but this just shows you how censored my account is with 36.8 thousand followers, okay? And I paid for the blue check mark. This is not a meme. It's over by the FDR, Epstein, Prince Andrew. So my buddy, who's given me a lot of great tips and stories over the years, Scanoni, love you, bro. Safe, secure, protected with minimal charges. Just like Prince Andrew. Manhattan Mini Storage. 212 Storage. That's real. That's not Photoshop. Let me repeat that. It's a real picture that is by the FDR. I should have literally tens of thousands of likes and at least 1,000, not 100 retweets. 34. This one biggest tweet of the month. Probably biggest tweet of since my September 11th stuff. Okay? Think how brilliant that is, by the way. But that should be huge. Maybe it's huge in another part of the multiverse, Jason. Multiverse isn't real. That's Johnny nonsense, in my opinion. I don't believe that. I guess you'd kind of almost get into the David Icke theory of a VR universe in that sense. But even if we were in like the VR universe that Icke suggests that we are, like this hyper VR artificial intelligence, that doesn't necessarily mean a multiverse. Okay, but everything is the multiverse. So get those thumbs up. Maybe in the multiverse, I just got 100 thumbs up instantly. Certainly not in reality. And this is Reality Rants. So it's funny because the show also deals with Kathleen Kennedy in the Panderverse. And if you look at that post that I just showed you, here, let's go back to it. Kathleen Kennedy is actually trending too in there. Only because of the South Park episode. I mean, they must say her name probably 24 times. Okay. So, why don't I like the multiverse? What's wrong with the multiverse, Jason? Now, first of all, when we're getting to fiction and plot devices, it's been done to death. Alternate universes since sci-fi was around, right? You know, you meeting yourself. I'm from another dimension, another timeline, blah, 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 blah. But it is hyped up recently in the past decade plus. And a large part of that is because that's what mainline science is trying to tell you. And in my opinion, the reason mainline science is trying to tell you that is I really believe they're trying to get the species further away from any type of idea of a religion or a god or a spiritual being that is superior to man, a superior intelligence. They don't want that. And that this truly is a one and done run. Who knows what happened before or what happens after, and, you know, what we may become. Who knows? But for some reason, this is a one run. Now, there are other religions out there that believe in reincarnation. They don't think it's one run. Okay. I also believe that the multiverse can actually be manifested in this reality via the metaverse, or what the metaverse will eventually become. So in other words, when you get to holodeck style virtual reality, you can now run simulations that are extremely lifelike and go through every single scenario. Spooky. But it's technology that is plausible and I think not only possible, but almost demonstratable at this point on some level. And you see how everything has become what? Diverse and the multiverse. Diverse and the multiverse. And the same people that are promoting what? The metaverse, the World Economic Forum, the UN, the global government crowd. They're promoting all these other diverse things. So it's the metaverse and diversity and LGBTQIALMNOPO, leprechaun, unicorn, rainbow. Okay? Just everything. And you've seen the trans pages from the United Nations and the World Health Organization, and the other agendas of diversity include what? Climate change. It's all the climate stuff. Lovely. So it's like every single agenda that comes into this multiverse thing. And I think it also says to people, it makes them lazy. It's like, well, I'm doing better somewhere else. Or in the multiverse, since every single thing is actually going to happen, then, you know, I don't really have free will. Right? And it also is this another brick in the wall mentality, which they already try to entrap you with because of the size and the scope of humanity at large. Oh, you're just 1 in 8 billion, mate. You don't really matter. How many times has that been projected on you yourself in this lifetime? Whether it's from an individual, whether it's from an employer or someone that's supposed to be your friend or your partner, you know the deal. It's real. It's really happening. Okay. So that's something to keep an eye on. Okay. And here, I do like the end joke. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but like the end joke right before the credits of how bizarre the multiverse would really be if it was real, or what they kind of even sell you. Like when we've played the Google thing, maybe we should find that. I wonder if I probably can find that. And we could play that. The Google multiverse thing, I could pull it from YouTube, but I'd rather just have it. And they talk about like a lobster, like a helmet is one of the scientists. And he's talking about like the lobster helmet. And I don't want to ruin too much of it, but in the multiverse, everything would be funky. There would be non-humans. You would be the most benevolent of persons, or the most vindictive, the most sadistic, everything on the spectrum, because everything is a possibility, would have to be there. All right, let's see if we do it. Let's see if we can get that right into that thing. Doubtful. Man, I hate it that it's not even looking it up yet. This PC is killing me. I swear my PC has gremlins. Like, you know, I have the mod changer, the voice modder, and it wasn't supposed to be on, none of that stuff. No, I'm just not going to do it. You know what? We'll do it live. We'll just do it live.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
So we're doing it live. Quantum computing, NASA, Google. Is this it right here? The 10 years ago. This is it. This is the multiverse thing. Boom. Let's do it. Let's start this watch along. By the way, again, we're going to do the Matthew Perry story, top of the second hour, uncensored. We're pandering into the multiverse right now, which to me is really going to be the metaverse. That's what they're going to sell you on. Okay, and because it's all AI driven, none of it's reality. The good AI will be saved for these people, unfortunately. When I say these people, I'm talking about the military-industrial complex below the predator class. That's it. That's what they're trying to set up. Okay? I do have a Israeli internet censorship propaganda mini doc that's like 14 minutes long. So that's going to be a large part of the show watch along today as well. I got a lineup of stories we also want to get to, including this older story of the Daily Beast demonizing Ron Paul almost a decade ago for dipping his toe in 9/11 truth, which he had done well before that, which he had done before his 2008 presidential run. Just saying. You know, maybe he went a little further in 2014, but come on. 9/11 truth, not being a truther or a know this or a know that, or I know exactly how it went down. 9/11 truth is the way. I'll say it again. 9/11 the truth is the way, because that event laid down the infrastructure for so many of these illegitimate institutions, period. All right, let's do it.
Past and future, classical physics, time travel. I mean, the whole...
Started there. Oh, we didn't want that. We want this.
Who was it that said, if you think you understand quantum physics, you don't understand quantum physics?
Consciousness, intelligence,
Free will, determinism,
black holes, protecting the planet from asteroids,
Heisenberg uncertainty principle,
atoms, ion traps, nuclear magnetic resonance,
Just gotta stop it.
superconductor.
Like, just got to stop it there. Okay. You notice how free will was snuck in there? Free will. Is free will. I mean, just that debate alone. Everything else we're talking about, like quantum mechanics and all these other things, free will. Free will. Free will. Consciousness.
Photons,
artificial intelligence, machine learning, past and future, classical physics, time travel. I mean, the whole thing. I can tell it's gonna get very hot as I start speaking, so tell me if I start to look really shiny. Quantum physics puts everything into question.
It defies every intuition you have about the natural world.
Quantum is a very strange regime of physics.
Things can exist in this state of superposition where they can be like ghosting on each other, where they can be this and that at the same time.
Entanglement. Quantum entanglement.
Two objects, if they're quantum mechanically entangled, are still strongly related to each other, even though they can be a vast distance apart.
There's the notion of the multiverse. There's a whole family of hardwoods in different...
See, I was wrong. I got it wrong. Okay? It wasn't Heltmet. It's Hartmut. See, I should know this because I've actually watched a lot of lectures by this guy. Hartmut, and it's like he's gonna be a lobster.
States and then going through different experiences and different life trajectories.
The famous one is quantum tunneling.
Tunneling.
Tunneling is the slippage between universes.
For a long time, people thought those effects only existed in the microscopic domain.
Like atoms, electrons, photons.
But really, it's the theory of our universe.
So if you want to build a quantum computer, you want to incorporate those new phenomenon into information processing.
Maybe quantum computation is one of those instruments that's going to allow us to see quantum effects at the human scale.
Boom. And look, this is one of the criticisms I have out there for the alternative media or people that think they're in the know. NASA and Google are partnering on this. It's literally not just AI, it's everything when we're talking quantum computing. It's everything. It's free will. They just told, do I have to run it back? I don't think we do. We're going to play more. We got to take a break. We're going to come back, top of the second hour. Again, we're going to talk Matthew Perry, Friends, Hollyweird. I'm already seeing, he was going to expose, I've seen nothing where he was going to expose anything. What I saw was somebody who, despite everything and having what most people think would ensure happiness, was a very unhappy and unfulfilled person, unfortunately. It's a cautionary tale. So we're going to take a break. Here's a word from our sponsor. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. We'll be back after this.
When I invented MyPillow, my passion was to help each and every one of you. And 20 years later, all of your support is what keeps us going. Because of you, we've been able to create thousands of USA jobs and help millions get the best sleep ever. To thank you, my employees and I are bringing you a limited edition MyPillow. The Giza Elegance MyPillow is made with my patented adjustable fill, the most amazing cotton, and a 2-inch pipe gusset. It has 4 custom loft levels, machine washable and dryable, and you get my 60-day money-back guarantee and 10-year warranty.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your limited edition 20th anniversary MyPillow queen size. Retails for $69.98, now only $19.98. That's right, get a queen size MyPillow for only $19.98.
From all of us here at MyPillow,
Folks, a 2-inch piped gusset. What else do you want to hear about? I don't want to hear about anything else but piped gussets from now on. It is Reality Rants. We like to have a little fun here with these topics. But getting back to the multiverse, think about the fact that you're being bombarded all the time through Google, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I know some people like the Snapchat, TikTok, all these things, right? But ultimately, the narratives are driven by the Defense Department behind it, period. Same with Hollyweird. You can get a lot of things budgeted when you've got some black money and an agenda. So many of these, the diversity thing. So, it's making the commentary on how lame the diversity thing is. And I don't think that you could get away with saying things like, put a chick in it and make her lame and gay. I think they must have said that phrase 30 times. It's like a 48-minute episode. That made me, I mean, that's funny. Am I allowed to laugh at that? There's a lot of funny in this. Whole lot. A lot of laughing moments. And the thing is, though, we've seen all these changes. Like, it used to be periodically you would see this type of thing. And I remember Sliders was big into the multiverse in the 90s. So, again, decades they've been talking. If you don't remember Sliders, they, it was a cheesy show with, who was it? Was it Jerry? I can't remember his acting name, but he was one of the kids in one of my favorites there, Stand By Me. And he was in Jerry Maguire. He's been in a million things. Everybody knows who the guy is. Anyway, they were traveling through the multiverse. But again, they're legitimizing it now with science and technology, and AI is the big part of that narrative-driven control. Let's go back to the multiverse.
Google and NASA have teamed up to share one of the world's first commercial quantum computers. This machine, made by Canada's D-Wave, will be installed in a NASA research center in California.
This is the inside of one of our dilution refrigerators. All of this infrastructure is to basically operate the chip at a temperature that's 2 orders of magnitude colder than interstellar space. The processor is a quantum computer.
But uses things called qubits, as well as being either 1 or a 0. A qubit can also be both at the same.
It can be both and superimpose. And think about how elegant everything sounds. Ooh. By the way, they've gotten a lot smaller. There are other types of quantum computers other than D-Wave and using quantum annealing. And just think about what they have on the black sites. This is all the public stuff. And don't get me wrong, the public stuff is important because it makes innovations for the private stuff, for the black projects and programs. But again, there's been this techno-fascist mashup in our face that's so overwhelmingly over the top that goes beyond the Lockheeds and the Raytheons that most people are simply unaware of. And think about it. If Google's not part of narrative management, I mean, YouTube is TV now. I get to use the platform, sure. 200 viewers. I get 200 viewers with my 70,000+ subscribers that just keep going down. 200. If I can reach a fraction of that audience every day, great. I'm not promoted there. I'm shadow banned, etc. I can't make money. I took, for those that didn't see, I took my re-education quiz yesterday. Took the old re-education quiz. And everybody can, and the thing is, the one that I got wrong several times at the end is the one that I really should have known, because it was the one that was displayed on Danny Polishchuk's Twitter that we went over earlier in the week. I digress. Let's get back to the great, not the good, the great people at Google and NASA. NASA trending, by the way, again today, because apparently they've had 166 successful launches. You know, they're launching Starlink satellites with Blackjack satellites, a military skin around the planet. That's, in their own words, a military skin around the planet. But nobody else is, no one's worried about that? That's weird. Let's see if we can find that. Oh, look at that. I do have that. Nope, that's that. Nope, that's not it. Well, it's actually doing a search thing here. So we might be able to find this. Oh, I do see a presentation. I like that. Let's see. Standards, reawaken. Maybe I should just play one of my one of my whole presentations. We'll see. I got a lot to do. Let's get through this. Let's get through this multiverse, metaverse nonsense. Because listen, the multiverse is going to be able to be produced by the metaverse. So whatever they tell you is reality, they're going to tell you you're going to experience in this new virtual hellscape if they have their way.
Same time, therefore bringing about a quantum leap in terms of power.
Harnessing principles of reality that are, up until very recently, completely not observable by us is just fascinating in ways that I can't completely articulate.
The overwhelmingly obvious killer app for quantum computation is optimization.
Optimization problems are extremely difficult problems.
Actually, all Google server centers together will not be capable of coming up with the best solution to these optimization problems as they get larger. So now, what is an optimization problem? Here, give you an example. You want to do a trip through South America and you want to visit a number of cities. And then you ask, what is the cheapest ticket I can get to visit, let's say, 20 cities? And you can, of course, different routes and different airlines. And sort of imagine I list all the different options I have for my different routes to travel to these cities.
We currently, as a civilization, we generate vast amounts of data. It could be climate data, genomic data, but it's very...
And just right there, again, I've watched this probably a dozen times. It could be climate data. It could be genomic data. One of the other stories we have here is a story about using CRISPR to cure HIV. Now, I'm not saying any of that. I don't want medical misinformation. That's a headline, CRISPR, gene editing. But notice they put that climate data, biological data. It's all the same. It's all the same agenda.
difficult to generate useful insights oftentimes from that data.
If you can solve optimization problems better, you have an important resource at your hand.
I think at least it teaches us that we shouldn't be naive about the world, that we shouldn't think about the world as a simple machine. It forces us to consider, more sophisticated notions of how the reality around us is actually shaped.
I can't ask it.
Here's the thing. You talk about reality. They've hit. Why would we trust these people with reality? That's my problem. Is like they tell us all these great things and what they're going to do, and then they lie to us like we're children in real time, and they get caught in their lies, and then they admit their lies, and then nothing happens to them. Ever. Does that sound reasonable? I don't like being treated like a child. Okay? So when we're talking about an organization that has a massive budget, okay, massive budget, is obviously doing things that have nothing to do with its public persona, just like this. Yeah, this is weaved into its it was weaved in there technology-wise. Ask 100 people on the street with what does NASA do with quantum computing? Are anybody going to tell you about the Google partnership? Anybody? Bueller. No, they're always going to tell, we're going to the moon again. They're on the ISS. Look, here's, we're going to take just a second off of that. But again, NASA was trending. So let's do that. We'll do it live again. No, I don't want to see. Now we are going to that. No, I want to just go to Twitter, please. If we could just go to Twitter, please. Twitter.com. When's it going to just turn to X? So NASA's trending. Okay. Let's go to NASA. And right here. And this is from a weather satellite taken by Tra-1 right here on April 1960. The early photographs provide new information for cloud systems. Okay, but there's a vast array of satellites that are not in low Earth orbit. And a lot of the ones that are in low Earth orbit right now are nanosats or Starlink. Okay, or again, Starlink subsidiaries in the Blackjack program. But there's a whole bunch of them that are what? Up on balloons. They're up on balloons. And there you go. And sometimes, every once in a while, just like we saw with the Chinese spy balloon, that wasn't a Chinese spy balloon at all. They malfunction. Okay? They come into view when you usually cannot see them. And then somebody catches them on camera. It's funny to me. You know, again, NASA trending with a mega thing. And what they're selling you on via NASA is this right here. This is 166 safe landings in a row. Here it is. It's Falcon X. Okay? 166 safe landings in a row. Boom. Falcon X. Starlink. So it's not Falcon. It's SpaceX Falcon. But again, let's just do it. Let's type it in. Mandrake Sats SpaceX Blackjack. Blackjack from 2 mandrakes. Thanks, DARPA. Yeah, DARPA. Go DARPA. Go NASA. DARPA, DARPA, DARPA. Awesome. So again, I mean, it's right in your face. It's on their own websites. This is the type of stuff that they're actually doing. That's what Elon Musk is a military-industrial complex contractor. We got to take a break. Final segment in the first hour. We're going to hit some other stories up. Second hour, like I said, we're going to talk about Matthew Perry and his death, Holly Weird, and just how they are so exploitative and disgusting, in my opinion. And then also Israeli censorship and surveillance via the internet. Remember, they're one of our allies in that regards, aka Five Eyes, for a reason, folks. We'll be back after this word from our sponsor.
Attention Americans, breaking news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. Take action now. The Federal Reserve phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard. Your hard-earned assets are in jeopardy. But there's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Reach out to American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Visit protectfrombiden.com. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Be smart. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Visit protectfrombiden.com to get your free guide and get started. Again, that's protectfrombiden.com.
Thumbs it up, thumbs it up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Subscribe and share. We're going to go back. We're going to do the last minute and a half of this Google, NASA, AI. I mean, that's the other thing. It's literally, you can't see it. Let's see if we can see it now, because it doesn't come up in anything of this, but here's the title. Quantum Artificial Intelligence Lab. They partnered with Google on quantum computing and artificial intelligence. Google is not a private company, period. And if you go into the it's Goldman Sachs, it's Bezos, it's all those guys. It's banks and power brokers of the military industrial complex. My goodness gracious. Let's get back to it.
How long I'll live or the meaning of life. Really, we don't know what the best questions are to ask that computer. That's exactly what we're trying to understand now.
To me, the most important question is, are we alone? And I have a feeling that quantum computers, as they mature, are going to help us answer that question.
This is, of course, a more long-term research endeavor, and there are still tremendous obstacles and big questions. Some of those will be addressed in D-Wave, some will be addressed at NASA, and some at Google.
I wasn't sure I would be able to experiment with a quantum computational device in my lifetime, and now I'm confident that I will be able to.
How amazing it is that we, with our monkey heritage and monkey brains and monkey fingers, have somehow lucked into a brain.
Think about that. And this is Geordie Rose. And Geordie Rose is a guy, he's one of these guys that wants to upload his consciousness and is trying to live forever. And you're a monkey, man. Monkey fingers. We lucked into this monkey brain, and somehow we were able to do it. Now, I am not of the personal belief that, we evolved from monkeys or apes or any of that stuff. I think that's very much up for debate. Possible, maybe, but come on, like, that's the whole thing. We have species on this planet that clearly are in relation to one another through microevolution, but macroevolution and all this science, again, science tells you they're going to be able to explain everything if you just believe in one miracle, the Big Bang. Right? If you just believe in that and primordial ooze and microorganisms, et cetera, eventually it's just we're monkeys. We're just chimps, man.
That allows us to ask legitimate questions about the nature of physical reality. That's so cool.
It's that human risk to go forth into that unknown frontier. Whether it's space exploration or quantum exploration, we do it because we must. We do it because that's what it means to be human.
Very dramatic, and it's got its message. So the multiverse, to me, is a large-scale agenda. And it's by known liars and manipulators. Because at this point, I think that we anybody watching this broadcast damn well knows that Google's overall are known liars and narrative manipulators at this point. Okay? It's not don't be evil. Like, what is it? Do good now? Good is subjective to these people. And we're keeping people safe because it's safe and effective. I hinted at this story really quick. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see if we can find it here. Boom. Nope, that's not there. It is right there. Cure for HIV could be months away as first 3 patients are injected with new CRISPR therapy that seeks and destroys lingering pieces of the virus. CRISPR, you say? After 4 decades and over 700,000 Americans dead. Probably right there. I'm not even sure if that's a correct number. I just want to put that out there. We don't even have 100 thumbs yet on YouTube. Come on. Thumbs. I would encourage people to check out House of Numbers as a documentary. I'm not saying I agree with everything in it, but it was certainly eye-opening. Okay? After 4 decades and over 700,000 Americans dead, gene editing experts believe they are on the cusp of curing HIV. Finally, 3 patients in California have just been injected with genetic material, along with an enzyme called CAS9 that early studies suggest can splice sections of the virus DNA that become lodged in human cells, eliminating it entirely. Using the gene editing technology CRISPR, a cure for the AIDS-causing virus could be closer on the horizon than ever thought before. So they're telling you they're doing gene editing on humans now. The current trial aims to prove the treatment is safe, but data on how well it will work is expected next year. So right now, it's just, I don't know, can we just inject people? Okay. So the new gene therapy uses an inactivated virus to deliver the gene editing tool to the body. It's a tool where it can latch onto immune cells, which also serve as shields for HIV. One attached to the immune cells, guide RNA takes the enzyme Cas9 to the specific segments of the HIV genome to be removed, which renders the virus inactive. HIV was a near certain death sentence until the mid-1990s, when antiviral medications turned into a chronic disease and that people can live with. Oh, people can live with it now. I feel like if you had the money, you could always live with it, right? Like that wasn't the problem. Like Magic Johnson played in the Olympics and then totally lived with it. Just saying. Just did fine. Just incredible. Like, that's the thing, man. I feel like really rich and powerful people weren't dropping dead of this. Okay, then now don't get me wrong. There were some celebrities that got taken out. There were certain people that were paraded in the media, but now we have a virus, which HIV, I'm just going to say that its origin story is in question. It's a monkey, Jason. The monkeys are back. And you know, I love the Monkees. I'm a big Davy Jones guy. Mike Nesmith. Monkees were probably the first band that I enjoyed as a child. I'll take the last train to Clarksville any day of the week, folks. Any day, because I'm a believer. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, monkey stories on HIV, monkey stories on humanity, monkey. So that's in question, but the virus ultimately has paved the way for the gene editing of humans out in the open as yet another benevolent way to help humanity. Weird. I'm just saying weird. Is that weird to anybody? It's weird. By the way, Brock, I want to thank you for that Tipsky and Hutch. Let's see. Let's see. Treatment options, folks, have evolved considerably since HIV was first identified in the early 80s. The course of treatment went from patients having to take several pills a day that might not even work well to start. No, they pushed AZT on poor people, and even the protease inhibitors, which were much more expensive, certainly weren't the way to go. And look, I'm not a doctor. I don't want to get any medical misinformation. I'm just telling you right now that they're using CRISPR. CRISPR technology is especially promising for situations such as this because the therapy is extremely targeted to highly specific sections of genetic material within the cells. Now, I'm just going to say, it was that Time magazine. Let's see. Listen, is that it? Boom. So, yeah, there it is right here. Some people were trying to tell me that, you know what, didn't have anything to do with CRISPR, right? And then you have this Time magazine article here, and that's why we do it live sometimes. Control F, let me just read you. The tool, based on a system that bacteria use to fight viruses, bacteria develop clustered repeated sequences in their DNA known as CRISPRs that can remember dangerous viruses and then deploy RNA-guided scissors to destroy them. Again, we just talked about the guide RNA is what they're calling it now. In other words, it's an immune system that can adapt itself to fight each new wave of viruses. Just what we humans need. Oh, we need it. Now, with the recently approved, hey, ho, ho, being slowly rolled out across the US and Europe, RNA has been deployed to make a whole new type of what now that will, when it reaches enough people, change the course of the hey now. But again, they only mention it 5 times in the article. CRISPR and this. Just saying. RNA can also be engineered, as Jennifer Doudna and others discovered, to target genes for editing using the CRISPR system. Oh, yeah. CRISPR. So all I'm saying is they have mainlined and fast-tracked this technology. And it's, I mean, I just want to say again, even a few years ago when I started to see a huge uptick in commercials for Keytruda or Truvada or all these PrEP drugs for HIV, I was thinking, how many people have HIV in the United States? It's not as common as they've projected on the public. But boy, they got a lot of drugs for PrEP on HIV. Weird. One final break in the first hour. When we come back, we're finally going to do the Matthew Perry rant that needs to be done so we can talk about really Hollyweird, its depravity, fame in general. We're also going to do the Israeli spying thing. Thumbs it up on the way out. Subscribe and share. YouTube will be back for a second to tell you where to find that second hour. Hint, it's at rvmrumble.com.
If you're like me and you want to be prepared for the unexpected,
that's where the Wellness Company's emergency medical kit comes
over
in.
40% of Americans say that they would avoid a doctor or a hospital unless it was a catastrophic situation.
Medical emergency kits with...
The kit contains 8 potentially life-saving medications for you to keep on hand in the event of natural disasters, supply chain shortages, medical emergencies, or like an apocalyptic situation. These are the actual medications that you would need in the event of certain situations. So they've got emergency antibiotics, antivirals, antiparasitics.
All right, thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. RVM Rumble is where the second hour lives. YouTube, I mean, I had my video pulled down yesterday for the 1 minute of the UFC fighter talking about peace. I had to cut that out and trim it out of the YouTube cut. Even though it's clearly fair use and commentary, yada, 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 they pulled it down. So talking about Matthew Perry, I want to play the Friends reunion trailer. We're going to do that right now after we leave you, YouTube. So come on over, rvmrumble.com. Boom. All right. We're off. Wait, no. Oh, no. I hit the wrong one. Well, let's hope the rumbling keeps going. Let's hope.